So welcome to Soulbody Yoga with Helena. This is day 3 of our 21-day, 5-a-day challenge. And day 3 will be a warrior day. So allow yourself to stand in your space, softening your feet into the ground, softening the shoulders, lengthening the back of your neck, dropping the tailbone, lifting the solar plexus, relaxing the hands, relaxing the jaws, softening the eyes. Wriggle the toes, lengthen the toes, spread the toes to increase your foundation. And feel your uprightness, feel your vertical axis. And if you can, whilst keeping the shoulders relaxed, even lengthen the vertical axis slightly more. And the more you lift the solar plexus, the more confidence you feel in your body. And drop the shoulders. Feeling your breath. Feeling your roots growing through the soles of your feet into the ground. Imagine those roots burrowing themselves all the way to the center of the earth, receiving nourishment, receiving safety through the ground. And you can trust that this ground will hold you. It's a windy day today outside, and the trees outside are rooted deeply. So no matter how strong the wind, they stand tall. They allow themselves to bend a little with the wind, but their roots are deep. So allow your roots to be deep, receiving everything earth can bring you. Feel worthy of receiving, trusting the space you're in, so that you can weather the storms of life with equanimity. And then take your legs wide, making sure that the inside of the feet are parallel to each other. And then spread the toes. Lift, spread the toes, and reconnect to the ground. This practice is best done without socks, so you don't end up slipping. And remember yesterday when we were using those threads to connect into space, using the space to actually hold us up. This is what we're going to be relying on again today. So tuck your left foot in, lifting the little toes, spreading them away from you. And then take your right foot 45-degree out with the toes and 45-degree in with the heels. This way your toes are pointing to the small end of your mat and your heel is pointing towards the middle of the other foot. If that isn't the case, if the line coming from the heel does not end up in the middle of the other foot, then please slightly adjust. Go a little back or a little forward until you have that line nicely pointing towards the middle of the back foot. And normally when we do this, there is a tendency for the hip to come in a little. So bring the hip back so you are in alignment. We are going to go for Warrior 2 today. Make sure that your knee is pointing towards the middle toe. Engage the pelvic floor. Pull the navel in and up and take the arms up onto the side and rest them on that invisible grid. Imagine your fingertips are connected with threads to the walls on the side. Feel those walls. Feel the texture and temperature of those walls. You're being held as if you were a puppet by space itself. Trust the space you're in. Push your weight into the back foot as you bend your right knee towards the middle toe. Keep pushing the weight into the left foot. Make sure you push the edge of your foot into the ground. and keeping the hip aligned. And coming down as far as that is possible for you. Inhaling, lifting the belly in and up, lifting the navel in and up, engaging the pelvic floor, softening the shoulders onto the grid. And then you can take your head looking from side to side, bringing a bit of spaciousness into the cervical spine, into the upper vertebrae, until you look towards your right into space, touching that space in infinity, your fingertips pointing to infinity, and you are held here in the middle. You are centered. Your spine is on top of itself. You're not leaning, you are centered. So if you took a plumb line from your crown and let it go, it would go all the way through your spine, reaching the ground just underneath your spine. Feeling that heat, inhaling the heat that is now building up in that right thigh into your solar plexus, and on the out-breath spreading it into space. And then coming into the peaceful warrior, taking your left hand down, your right hand pointing up, and make sure that that back hand is parallel with the back leg. Sending your peaceful intentions into the world. Imagine what you're sending out with your fingertips. You are yourself receiving with your fingertips on the other side, as that line sends and goes out to infinity. So you are receiving and sending out to infinity. And then coming back up, back to the middle, feeling that lovely heat that you had in your right thigh. Align your feet again, so the front toes have the same distance to the front of the mat, and then tuck your right foot in this time, spreading the little toes away from the big toe and reconnecting to the ground. And then you take your left foot with the toes half out, 45 degrees out, heel 45 degrees in, and now the side of your foot should be aligned with the wider edge of your mat, and the toes pointing to the small end of your mat. Bring your hip into alignment whilst pointing your knee towards the middle toes. So that already is a stretch in itself, isn't it? Pull the navel in and up, engage the pelvic floor, put your weight into your back foot, into the outer edge of the foot. Rest your arms on that invisible grid with the knee coming down. I feel like I need to be a little wider here so that my knee doesn't go beyond my ankle. Rest your arms on that grid here. Imagine that space is holding the arms, and connect your fingertips to infinity and beyond. Breathing deeply. If you would like to engage with your neck, with your shoulders, loosening the shoulders, mobilizing the vertebrae in your upper spine. Warrior 2. Notice if there's any gripping in the feet and see if you can relax that. Notice if there's gripping in your shoulders and see if you can just rest these shoulders down. Keep engaging the pelvic floor, lifting the solar plexus. This is a proud, strong position. And check if your spine is aligned. Remember that plumb line. Feel connected through your crown and gaze into space, into infinity. And once you feel that heat in your thigh, inhale it up through the engagement of your pelvic floor into your solar plexus. On the out breath, send it out to the world. Send that inner sunshine, that inner flame, that inner heat, that inner warmth, even with an intention if you like. If you have some kind of goal or intention, you can inhale that into your solar plexus and imagine it being picked up on your out breath by the space around you. So you're changing your frequency. So in your frequency, in that subtle body around you, your goal, your imagination is alive. You need to feel it and see it for it to happen. And then coming into the peaceful warrior, sending your peaceful wish, your intention into space. And there is only one infinity. So in infinity, your right fingers meet your left fingers. So you're sending out and receiving all at the same time. Allow yourself to feel that inner peace whilst your thigh is burning. Can you still smile? It's just a sensation. And slowly coming back up. Come to the middle, soften into your feet. Feel that sensation that is now in your thighs as the blood comes back in. Relax your hips. Soften your toes. And then let's stretch the front thighs that have worked so hard. So take your weight all the way onto your right leg and lift your left leg, grabbing hold of the ankle, pushing the hip forward so that you feel the stretch in the front thigh. Rest into your roots. So the roots are holding you. Pull the navel in and up. That will firm your core so that you can be more stable. Lift the solar plexus, relax the shoulders, lengthen the back of the neck. And if you feel you're losing your balance, you can, if you like, of course, use a wall or whatever you have in your space to rest on. But you can also imagine that that thread on your crown is holding you up. And if, as you are slightly losing your balance, you keep your head upright, then you will remain in your balance. It is when the head starts tilting that we lose the balance. Slowly, gracefully let go of the leg and take the other leg up. Again, send your roots into the ground. Sending action, reaction. As we send out, we also receive. So we're receiving groundedness, nourishment, security and safety from Earth. And we're owning our space. You are worthy to receive. And you can trust that your needs will be looked after. So we're strengthening our root energy center. Tucking the hip under so that you feel the stretch in the front thigh. And being balanced between the forces of the vertical. So that as the roots go down, you also connect up into the forces of inspiration. Good. We are now going to do something for the spine. So I would like you, if you have a chair available, you can use it, but you don't have to have a chair. If you have a chair, I will also show you how to do this without the chair, of course. If you have a chair, make sure that the front legs of the chair are aligned with your feet. And you're in that same position again. The front toes have the same distance to the front of the mat. And the inside of your feet are parallel to each other. And remember, we were talking about that hip coming in. In this posture, we also have to keep the hips aligned. That is really important. Now, your left foot will tuck in again, like we did earlier. Taking the little toes, spreading them away from the big toe, so you increase your foundation, pushing the edge, outer edge of your foot into the ground. And then your right foot half out with the toes, half in with the heel, so that the toes are pointing away to the small end of your mat, and your heel, if you extended the line, comes to the middle of the back foot. And then open that angle of your hips. So if you had headlights here, if you were a car, those lights need to point this way. They need to point towards the screen now, if you're facing the screen, not diagonally away from you. And then you take your right arm, the one that is on the side of the chair, lengthening that side of your body. Make it really long, but keep the shoulders relaxed. Deep inhale. On the out breath, engage the pelvic floor, pull the navel in and up, keeping the hips aligned. You come down as far as you can with those hips being aligned. And then you can rest your hand on the chair, or if you have the flexibility, or if you don't have a chair, you can bring the hand a little lower onto your calf or onto your thigh, whatever feels right for you, and rest on there. And then taking the other arm, if that feels good for you, if your shoulders allow it, you can take the other arm up. And you can either look forward, look down, or look up. So the actual posture is with the head up, but if that hurts your neck, please just look up or down. And you want the top front of your body to kind of almost slightly outward rotate to the ceiling. And make sure that your hip is aligned. Inhale, expand, breathe out, soften the feet into the ground. And imagine that your top hand is held by these invisible strings again, so allowing space to help you, allowing space to lift you. Whilst the pose may appear still from the outside, inside you are continuously working with the pose. You are feeling held, you are feeling lifted, you breathe, you are present with your breath. And then you can turn and twist your body towards the chair, if you have a chair there. If you have the flexibility, you can also bring your hands to the ground. It means, though, that your back needs to remain straight. There shouldn't be any rounding in the lower back like this. Or you can take any other object that you have available to put your hands on top. If you have a chair and you have more flexibility, you can also come onto your elbows. Keep bringing up the tailbone and bring your head into one line with your spine. And feel that lovely stretch in the spine, lengthening the crown away from the tailbone. And you're also feeling a stretch on the back of the leg, on the hamstring. Good work. Coming back up. Bringing the chair to the other side if you were using a chair, and bring your feet back into the neutral position, into the wide stance, toes pointing forward. Tuck in your right foot, and then left foot half out with the toes, half in with the heels. Check the alignment of the heel to the middle of the back foot. Check that your hips are nice and open with your headlights pointing forward. Take your left arm up, feeling that beautiful stretch here. Extend up, breathing out. Engage the pelvic floor, keeping that side of the body long. Come down to the chair or to your body, wherever you are. And then, if you wish, take your right arm up, looking up or down or forward. Keeping the hips open, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Feel held by the strings of your top hand on the top fingers. So the pose becomes effortless. It's the law of effortless effort that we are looking for in yoga. So we're using space to help us to find the effortless effort. And keep checking on yourself. How is my body feeling? What sensations are there? Without getting consumed by them, just breathing into the strongest sensation that is there. And then turning yourself to the chair or to the ground. Lifting the tailbone. If you don't feel it very strongly in your hamstring yet, then you need to lift your tailbone a little more. Find a position where you can have your back straight, so you can come a little lower if you wish. Lengthen the crown away from the tailbone. Remember, it is not a competition. It is not, I need to push my body as far as I possibly can. No, you need to find a position that feels good for you, that feels like a sensation that is a feel-good sensation. So if it doesn't feel good, it's likely you've gone a little bit too far. Then maybe you need to ease out a little and find a position where it's about 50 to 70% stretch. So in theory, I'd love it to be a sensation that you could just say, oh, I could stay in here forever. Breathing deeply, allowing the in-breath to flow into the out-breath flowing into the in-breath. And then slowly coming back out. We're going to do Warrior 3 now, which is a balancing position. And you can do this again with your chair, or you can do this just being held by the air itself. So taking the arms up. Lengthen the arms into space, soften the shoulders. Put all your weight onto one foot. So I have my weight on my right foot right now. And then I'm starting to go down towards the chair, keeping my arms in one line with my back leg. Go as far as you can keep the arms in line with the back leg. If it's difficult for you with your arms, if you have a shoulder problem and tightness in the shoulder, you can also do this with your hands pointing towards your leg and come down, staying in your alignment. If you can, or if you have the chair there, you can take your hands onto the rest of the chair to make this a little easier. Lengthen the toes away from the fingertips. Pull the navel in and up, also here, shoulders away from the ears, so you have spaciousness between the shoulders and the ears. If you are using the chair and you want to challenge yourself a little, lift off the chair and feel your back muscles working. And slowly come up. Same to the other side. So find an adequate distance to your chair, or if you're doing it free. So I will do this time freely without the chair so that you can see how that happens. Arms up, shoulders away from the ears. Bring your weight onto that standing leg, pull the navel in and up, engage the pelvic floor. That ensures you have more stability and firmness in your core, and come down. Head in one line with the body. So you still feel that invisible connection through the crown. Breathing deeply, feeling the body working, and the back stretched out leg is inward rotated, so the kneecap is pointing to the ground. And slowly coming back up. Well done, good work. So today we are going to, as our Butma anthroposophic meditative movement section, we're going to do a walk. So make sure you give your weight to gravity, softening the tailbone to the ground, lifting the solar plexus, relaxing the shoulders. And you take your right foot forward, but not a big step. So your heel is still kind of aligned with the ball of the foot, and your weight is still on your back foot. Your knees are fully relaxed. They are not overextended. And then you imagine that you have a thread coming from your back knee, parallel to the ground. And that thread is being pulled So see what happens when that thread is being pulled. The knee is going slightly forward, and that lifts my back heel off the ground. And I roll the foot off the ground. So my weight is now on the front foot, and then I place that foot forward. So that again, the front heel is aligned with the toes or the ball of the back foot. The weight is still on the back foot, bringing in the thread on the back knee, rolling the back foot off, and very smoothly my weight is transferred forward. This is a really, really nice walk that uses the soles of your feet and the muscles in your feet adequately, and also is very gentle on the hips and on the knees. So practice that a little. Always the pull on the back knee initiates the rolling of the back foot off the ground, and this transfer of the weight to the front foot. And then we place that foot without putting weight on it. And the pull on the knee initiates just a slight fraction of knee going forward before the back foot rolls off. Compare how that compares. Even if you're doing this slowly, you could do this fast. Yeah? How that feels in comparison to your normal walk. How are your hips and knees when you normally walk? Some of us walk slightly more on the ball of the foot. Some people walk slightly more with a lot of weight on the back of the heel. Some people move by shifting the hips forward. It's really good way to walk in this way that is very healthy for the body and also achieves grounding. Relax your hands as you're doing this. And remind yourself a few times during the day today, whenever you're walking, maybe you're walking towards your kettle, see what do you do? How do you walk unconsciously? How are you using your body? And see if you can change it slightly to allow that back knee to be the trigger for that move forward. So we're going to end today with an exercise that brings awakeness to your eyes, and that is based on humming as well. So find a seated position. You can sit on a chair, or you can sit cross-legged on the floor, or in half lotus if that is comfortable for you, or in a thunderbolt position, Vajrasana, that we also sat in one of the days of the challenges. I will sit cross-legged today, and then you rub your hands together. Until the hands get really hot. And then in a moment, I would like you to cup your eyes. So continue creating this friction with your hands whilst I show you. I would like you to cup your eyes with your hand. I'm going to come a little closer to show you this. So you're creating a seal with the outer edge of your hand around the eyes like this. So that if I open my eyes behind my hand, I can't see anything, but there is nothing touching my eyes at all, because I'm creating this hollow vacuum around my eyes. And you're going to do this with both hands in a moment. So I hope you're still rubbing your hands together. And then, keeping the shoulders fully relaxed, you're going to take the hands on top of the eyes like I explained to you. And then you're going to inhale. Your eyes enveloped in darkness. You can close your eyes. And then you hum into those cups. Keep the shoulders relaxed as you are doing this. Let the shoulders fully relax. Let the elbows give themselves to gravity. Make sure you are not allowing any light to your eyes right now. Ideally, you do this 9 times or any number that divides by 3. Feel the vibration of the humming sound around your eyeballs. And maybe where else do you feel it in your body? This is also an exercise that is very good for your thymus gland, so your inner healing agent. It is good for calming the mind. It is good for relaxing you, relaxing all your muscles. One more. Feel the resonance after the sound. Open your eyes into the darkness. Prepare yourself for a new day, a new you, a new body, a new moment, a new present state. As you allow very slowly your eyes to open, allowing in a little bit more light at a time, as you open your hands, just a tiny bit first, opening more and more and more and more. And your eyes should be really refreshed and awake now. Taking the hands to the heart, find your uprightness, soften the shoulders. Namaste. Well done for doing day 3 of your challenge.